model for process definition. Process orientation helps the organization in identifying the inputs by documenting them and having a control over the quality of the product. Any product, even manufacturing or service preparation and delivery, can be modeled in this manner. The first process is input of the process. This part includes all the things that needed to completely produce a product, like bill of materials, specification for each materials, requirements for inspection for the incoming materials. The last is procedure for the receipt of the materials. The second is output of the process. This is a product or services produced by the process consists of the following: product or services to be delivered, documents to be delivered, the specification for all the above, method of measurement for verifying conformance to the specification, criteria for acceptance or rejection. Third one is ETX model. The most popular model is ETX. It stands for entry, task, and exit. The value adding process is called task. The new items are entry and exit. Entry is conditioned to be satisfied before the condition is undertaken. Exit is conditioned to be fulfilled before the task is considered as completed.
Suburaj 6S is a model for modern process improvement in a logical manner. This can be applied for process improvement in every organization. First phase is study. The current performance level of the processes triggers improvement. It is important here to study the process and document the measured performance level. Second phase is streamline, meant for process movement with least resistance in the organization. It is important here to first document the current sequence of the events and then eliminate unnecessary or non-value adding processes. Third phase is simplify. Each process needs to be simplified, and simplifying processes improves quality. It involves the identification of essential processes and simplifying procedure for carrying out the task without increasing the cost and compromising on the quality.
Standardize. The simplified process should be documented in any form suitable to employees and permits performing the process in the same way by every employee at all times. Synergize. No process is a standalone activity in any organization. A process may interact with at least two other processes, customers and the supplier processes. Impact of simplifying should be analyzed, and the customer and supplier process should be adjusted if needed and documented. These are the activities that needed to be carried out during this phase. Number 1. Educating and convincing the process owners, customers, and suppliers. Number 2. Periodic counseling and assuring that the new process will perform better than the old process. Number 3, and the last one, monitoring the result and confirming that the process transition has occurred.
Supply Chain Management or SCM. First, demand planning optimally schedules manufacturing orders and production capacity by combining material requirements planning and capacity requirements planning. Next, manufacturing planning and schedule, ensuring that you have sufficient raw materials, labor and resources to produce finished products. Then, supply planning, meeting of customer demand based on available inventory and transportation resources. This includes DRP or Distribution Requirement Planning. Lastly, transportation planning, optimally schedule loads and deliver shipments to customer, considering the delivery date, transportation mode, and carrier.
Kanban system. Kanban stands for Kancard, Ban Signal, and was created by Toyota Vice President Mr. Tai Chi. Kanban is a parts movement technique used in Japan that relies on cards and boxes or containers to transport parts from one workstation to another on a manufacturing line. Kanban is a card that contains all of the information needed for the jobs that must be completed to a product at each stage of its journey to completion, as well as which parts are necessary at a latter stage. Work in progress, production, and inventory flow are all controlled with these cards. A Kanban system enables a business to adopt just-in-time manufacturing and ordering processes, allowing it to reduce inventory while still meeting consumers' expectation. It comprises of a collection of this card, one for each part being created and the journey between preceding and following proceed.
There are two types of Kanban. A basic classification is move or withdrawal Kanban and production Kanban. In simple terms, a production Kanban authorizes the production of goods. On the other hand, withdrawal Kanban authorizes the movement from the store to the requester. The main function of withdrawal Kanban is to pass the authorization from the movement of parts from one stage to another. Once it gets the parts from the preceding process and moves them to the next process, it remains with the parts until the last part has been consumed by the next process. It then travels back to the preceding process to get parts, thus creating the cycle and conveys on when to move, what to move, where to move, and how much to move. Further, it carries the part number, part name, lot size, routing process, and name of the next process location, name of the preceding process location, container capacity, and the number of containers released. Production Kanban. The main function of production Kanban is to release an order to the preceding stage to build the lot size indicated on the card. A production Kanban conveys different information: when to make, what to make, and how much to make. Production Kanban card should have the following information: materials required as inputs at the preceding stage, parts required as inputs at the preceding stage, and information stated in the withdrawal Kanban.
Cellular manufacturing is a concept to bring all the equipment, people, processing into a single location. It is designed to improve efficiency, quality, and throughput. This creates less travel time between departments. This way, projects are produced from raw materials to finished goods from one central location. Single-piece flow, also known as continuous flow or one-piece flow, is a manufacturing process that replaces traditional mass production.
Simply defined, one-piece flow means that parts are transferred through the facility with little or no wait time, and that artwork is efficiently handled through operations. While it may not appear logical, this technique of production is actually faster than doing step 1 of a process in 100 days.
Flow manufacturing versus batch production. Flow manufacturing refers to the method of production that moves product along the stages of manufacturing once a single piece is complete, regardless of that piece's relation to a batch or not. For example, when a glass bottle is produced for a 6-pack of soda, it does not matter if the other 5 bottles are completely labeled before moving on to its bottle being capped. The other 5 will move along when they have individually completed steps required to finish at that stage of batch production. It refers to a method of production that builds one batch at a time regardless of batch size in each build location before it can move on to the next. So a batch or a set of pieces in a group sits in stage 1 of production while stages 2 and 3 wait on its completion. For example, every ingredients of a cake must be completely mixed before it can be poured in a pan, and every ounce of the cake must be poured before it can be baked, and every square inch must be baked before it can be decorated, and so on and so forth.